Hey there, welcome to this session on why AI needs more women. In this session, we will take a quick look at the field of artificial intelligence and the developments so far before we move on to discuss the relevance and importance of having more diversity and women in this space. My name is Liji Thomas. I am a Microsoft MVP in AI, been in the space for several years now, and I am delighted to share some thoughts in this space. So, the world of AI and how we got here. AI has a long, long history. Well, it has a history of being the next best thing or the next big thing for quite a while now. Artificial intelligence is a field that started way back in the 1950s and 60s. There's been some ups and downs. There was periods in this history where sufficient funding was not available for research, and we entered what was called AI winters. But on and off, there has been developments in this space, and as of late, recently in the field of generative AI. But suffice to say that when we initially started this field, um, researchers thought that we could achieve something significant if we were able to bring forth efforts and concerted efforts and put the right people in the room for perhaps just over a summer. And we've been waiting for that summer for quite a while. That said, in this field, there's been a couple of improvements or advancements that has really led to the proliferation of technology. One of which is modern day computing power. So, with the advancements of hardware and microchips, as we see with Moore's law, that's definitely one factor that has influenced this space. For example, just for perspective, um, this is a screenshot of a Google blog which dates back way back to 2012. And at that point in time, they believe that every single search query in Google, uh, s- typing or speaking, would require as much computing power as it would take to send Neil Armstrong and 11 astronauts to the moon. Today, with the help of CPUs and GPUs, the story is far more different. And also with platform providers like Microsoft, we have the power of computing in the cloud to further accelerate this process. Secondly, the proliferation of data. So, with big data, we don't have a dearth of information or data at this point. Compare that to the kind of situation we had in the 1950s or 60s. Um, we didn't have the social media platforms and we didn't have the kind of data at our disposal as we have today. And then finally, the emergence of powerful algorithms. Um, we the democratization of AI services opened up a whole new world of possibilities where you don't need to have a PhD anymore to enter this field, and there is always a space for technical practitioners and non-technical folks as well. Um, so bringing together all these factors, there's been a significant advancement in this field with everything that's happened with AI. And then today, AI is at a space where you can accomplish um, mighty things like curing diseases or making solutions that are far more accessible in nature or even making dangerously cheesy cheetos. So in the last 1 year or so, again there has been considerable advancement in this space, but to just give you put that in perspective, these advancements didn't happen overnight, and there's been constant and consistent, even parallel technology that parallel technological advancements that have eventually led to the space that we are in. But to say that in the last 1 year specifically, with the emergence of generative AI and generative AI powered applications like ChatGPT, that this field has again taken a lot of interest and has been the focus of the industry. If you're watching the session, I would invite you to um, take a look at these pictures and guess, what's common with these people. None of these people actually exist. These are not real human faces. These were all generated by AI. And so are these places, so are these cars. All of these images were generated by AI. Now, image generation, just as an example of a subfield, again has been around for quite a while. But if you look at the quality of the images that has been generated previously in previous years and decades, you would see a significant improvement in these technologies to the point that here now in 2023, 2024, we are at a point where we can really, really make use of this technology. So, suffice to say, AI refers to a much larger discipline or a field, but that's used to solve a specific problem. But artificial general intelligence, the kind of things that you see in sci fi movies, doesn't really exist, at least not yet. And that is the kind of artificial intelligence that is not specific to a task, but will be capable of um, solving multiple problems. So as we talked about, AI is a much bigger discipline. There are subfields or subdisciplines within that, like machine learning and deep learning. And to just put that in context, generative AI, or the field that we are talking about right now, has been has been the center of attraction for the last couple of years, but has really been is it really is a subfield of artificial intelligence. It deals with that area that can generate text or images or any sort of content based on the data that it has been trained on. It can generate really fresh and novel content. So, in other words, the age of AI has begun, and generative AI has been able to achieve so many feats in the last couple of months. Just the last over the 1 year that it's been here, it's been able to pass the GRE exam, the SAT exam, the uniform bar exam, the medical licensing exam. Create images, photographs, and art pieces that have gone on to win accolades across the globe. So, what really is generative AI? Generative AI is a subfield of AI, as we said, that focuses just on the development of fresh content, like the content that you see here on screen, which I thought was very interesting when I was looking at Etsy the other day and found these beautiful images that were generated, digital art that was generated by Midjourney, which is a generative AI powered application. But AI is probably most accessible these days using ChatGPT, which is great. I think it's a fine application that has actually brought AI to the masses and is can easily resonate with audiences of all levels. But there is more to AI than ChatGPT. These images of mine were created using an AI tool. So you can use AI tool to generate images, to generate audio, videos, and there are so many other tools that are powered even just by generative AI. All this leads us to a question of, should we be afraid of AI? Just like any other tool that was invented by humans, AI is not inherently good or evil. It's just a tool. It's a technology for us to use, and it depends on what we are using it and how we are using it. But something for us to bear in mind is that AI is not just an engineering problem. There is more to it than a technical problem statement. When the impact of the solutions that we create is far fetched, and it can impact not just our immediate neighbors, but our families and communities and generations, it's important that we build solutions that are fair, safe, reliable, that can protect um, against privacy, and we have complete control over the way that it behaves as well. In other words, When we know that even the best algorithm can be used for the wrong purpose, it is important that we have ethical frameworks in place to ensure that these technologies are used for the right purposes. Because more AI is only leading to more problems. We can continue to see an uptick in AI controversies in every state of the AI report that has been generated year after year. And this technological space is not looking to slow down anytime soon. So we should be expecting more challenges to have to deal with. Luckily, there are several responsible AI principles and guardrails that we can adhere to when we create such solutions. Principles like fairness, reliability, security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. And world over, major forums are taking note of this and emphasizing the fact that it is important to build responsible AI solutions that will impact the society in a positive way than just create AI solutions. The implications of not having to do so have already been seen. For example, if these models are left unchecked, these biases can be perpetuated and can be scaled at speed and at global scale. This is a good segue into our next section on women in AI. To set context, women have been pioneering in the field of technology for a long, long time, starting from the world's first programmer, Lady Ada Lovelace, way back in 1815. She's one of the most prominent, important women in programming history. During World War II, little might we know that six women programmers ran the first fully electronic programmable computer, ENIAC. And there were several others, like Hamilton was the first to use the term software engineering according to NASA. So she worked as a programmer at MIT, and Hamilton helped define the field. During World War II, Grace Hopper tried to enlist in the US Navy, but when she was a professor at Vassar, Navy rejected her for not meeting certain criteria, but she worked on the Mark I computing program project at Harvard. So there's been a lot of significant developments in this field thanks to women. Um, One of the things that I remember having heard of Grace Hopper saying is humans are allergic to change. They love to say we've always done it this way. I try to fight that. That's why I have a clock on my wall that runs counterclockwise. Others include Katherine Johnson, Sister Mary Kenneth. This is all to just set context and say that women have been prominent in the field of technology, which begs us of the question, why not AI? And more so, do we need more women in AI? As Melinda French Gates puts it, more women must join AI race to help prevent bias. Let's talk about that a bit. 2154. This is the year that the World Economic Forum predicts to be the year that the gender gap closes. In fact, if we continue to make the progress that we are making at the pace at which we are currently, we at least stand a chance of doing that at 2154. This means we won't realize a gender equal society until the middle of the next century. Now, contradictory, we hear that there is a lot of AI talent that is being developed. But the question is, where are the women in all of this? And are women being left behind? Enterprises across industries are facing a common barrier to achieve their goals: talent. Lacking the necessary AI skills, many organizations are ramping up their AI hiring by looking to diversify their talent sources. So the gender gap in AI risks have also led us with a major talent shortage. Club that with the fact that we continue to hear stories of biases. One of the reasons for mischaracterization is the lack of diversity in the data sets. For example, the story that you will see here on the slide, the system simply weren't able to recognize black or brown faces to learn how to understand what they look like. And more troublingly, these techniques are applied to other areas of pattern recognition technology as well, like predictive analytics to determine hiring practices, so on and so forth. So, why do we need more women in AI? We need more women in AI to make AI better. AI solutions and talents that develop them both face a significant diversity challenge. Now, the development of AI solutions is shaped despite a stark talent gap that exists across geographies and genders. There's enough uh, complexity with data and technology gaps there in itself. But in places where data is produced, it is often biased and representative. So we need women, their voices and their needs reflected in these processes and inputs that build AI based systems and solutions so that they can start better serving and responding to half of humanity's needs and interest. When AI based products don't consider women's needs or addresses issues concerning women, there is an imbalance that will perpetuate disparities and inequities that will not support a digitally healthy society. So, what can we do about it? Now, a team with diverse perspectives is better at challenging assumptions and identifying problems to solve with AI, as well as challenge assumptions. Weed out unconscious biases, identify blind spots with an AI system, ensure that it has a positive impact on as many populations as it possibly can. So, while most AI bias is unintentional and goes unnoticed, if AI systems perpetuate existing forms of bias, they will fail to reach their full capacity and could hinder the organization's progress. Specific to gender, women are, you know, better positioned to take on this technology because there are so many, as we showed, archetypes of women in AI. And just having an awareness of that representation is very critical. It is critical to have visible female scientists or AI leaders within businesses and society. Because doing so not only provides women working in an AI clear examples of how to rise professionally, it also helps deconstruct negative cultural stereotypes about women and girls not belonging in STEM. So, without an archetype to sort of point to that shows that women working in in STEM is not only possible but also cool, we could risk countless young women and girls not even approaching this field due to cultural pressures and others. Secondly, I think providing education in organizations should remove the ambiguity surrounding what it means to work in AI, showing the numerous opportunities in this space, and that's certainly beyond engineering and technical science roles. Women across a range of academic and professional backgrounds have the ability to excel in AI as a career. So there will be multiple roles in product management, user experience, data science, AI ethics, to just name a few. So to encourage gender diversity, uh, you need to encourage gender diversity to create stronger AI systems and teams. So, organizations and communities should well inform women of the different opportunities that await them and extend recruiting efforts and other skilling initiatives so that you promote a culture of continuous learning. And developing effective AI requires an in depth understanding also of the problem that is being solved for. There are so many paths to get into AI and machine learning. Some of the women that I know were English majors or art history majors. So separately, women with a strong mathematical and statistical background also have a role to play in constructing AI, but the diversity of work experience is central to an effective AI team. So, to have that kind of representation, that knowledge, that education, and also mentorship to develop the next wave of leaders in AI, today's executives, both men and women, should take it upon themselves to find and mentor women with AI ambitions. So, with organization designed programs can have their benefits, informal and authentic mentorship can have even more influence on a mentee's trajectory. So building an authentic mentor mentee relationship obviously takes time and effort, and responsibility lies on both sides, but it can pay dividends in helping women get the most of this field. And in this regard, gender diversity can certainly benefit AI development. So, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, women belong in all places where decisions are being made. It shouldn't be that women are the exception. In summary, the future for women in AI is bright. AI is still a nascent field in which relatively few people have leading expertise, and as such, many organizations and workforces are just beginning their AI journeys. There is still time for organizations to close the gender gap in AI. And organizations that can bring more women into their AI teams can not only bring much needed gender equality to the field, but also bring more value to their businesses and customers. So while it is surely difficult to change a gender bias problem that is not being quantified, companies globally are realizing that the value the gender diversity can offer in AI is truly impactful. So there's still work to do, but a shift is on the horizon, and the future of women in AI is promising. So, as a recap, AI is going to change the world in a way that we have never seen before and possibly have not known. It has come a long way, but it is here to stay. AI is not the future. It is real, it is present, it is as real as it can get. And it has a huge opportunity for the takers. And the opportunity is for all of us equally. So, to all the pioneering women in tech and AI, perhaps we'll leave you with this question on who is going to be next. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your conference.